Hi YouTube, this is MsBabybees again, and I just finished recording a video for you guys. It was a bronze smoky eyes look. My face is still the same from that video. The only thing that I've changed is I've removed the eye makeup with a little bit of Bioderma. This is just Creline H2O, and that stuff is really good if you're looking for a good makeup remover for sensitive skin. So I'm going to be recording a sort of an inspired look, and I'm inspired by the Elle cover shoot of Seyfried. I don't know if I'm allowed to show you the detail, so I'm only going to show you the front cover picture, but I will be looking at a different one inside the magazine. But for copyright purposes, I'm not going to show more pictures. I'm going to start with a green stroke paint pot by MAC. Just because it's the darkest paint pot I do own, darkest like base. You could use a black gel liner. This is just so I have something for the shadow to adhere to. I'm not using I'm not using the Urban Decay Powder Potion right now, because I want something underneath that to sort of make it a little bit more smoky and do a chrome effect. Now there aren't any color pictures. I only have black and white to work off of, so I can only assume that this was a black smoky eye because it just looks so dark and rich. But they really could have used, I guess, any dark color. So I'm gonna hope that's what it was. I'm gonna be using a MAC. I have things everywhere. 252 brush, just looks like this. I've used this in tons of tutorials, and I'm gonna go into Creep. Right there. Oops, right there. And I'm going to build up a sort of black base. Now, I can't really see shimmer in there, but I don't actually own a matte black. So, and this doesn't really translate too shimmery, so hopefully this will do. Now I'm pressing the color in because it does have a lot of fallout. So you want to be careful. You don't want to just swipe it on. Don't worry too much about the shape, just sort of pack on the color. Tap off between, swipes in the color. And I'm leaving the inner third portion of my eye sort of untouched by it. I'm going to leave just a little green in there so it doesn't look too harsh. It's sort of a more wearable option, I guess. And I am going to slowly wing that out. Now, using a 217, clean 217, I am going to slightly start blending this so it doesn't look too harsh. Now this looks more like a gray color. So in a second I'm going to use a different color on top of it. I'm going to grab a little bit of Black Tide by MAC, which is sort of a darker sugar brown with a little bit of sparkle. Now they do make carbon, which is very similar. You can use that if you want just a matte black. This is just so I can get that really deep black. And I'm just going to alternate between blending the color and placing it down. And slowly winging this color out. Now you can use a different brush to wing it out if you're having a little bit of trouble, which I am. I'm going to use something like the Eco Tools brush. Just kidding. I'm going to use Real Techniques brushes. Sorry for disappearing, I'm just grabbing it from here, and I'm using that little eyeliner brush that came in here. I'm going into that black to create a defined line. That way. don't have this sort of. Okay. So you can see it's sort of taking shape there. Now, if you have any, don't worry about cleanups. You can always remove that with a makeup remover and a clean cotton pad. I mean, Q-tip, which I'm going to be doing towards the end. So you can see that it's sort of taking shape there. And it just has a really precise line, so towards the outer corner. So that's why I'm doing this really precise line. I'm going to go into the other side and do the same thing that I did on the side. Getting a lot of that creep. And I'm actually not going to even bother with what I did on the other eye. Now black has the tendency to shut off your eyes, so you want to be sort of careful. Because it does give a really harsh effect. Now I'm going to blend until it's sort of a softer shape on the top. Now it does tend to look like you've gotten a black eye. Don't worry too much about that. It's more of like a try and look than something I would probably wear out unless I was going out to dinner. Not to dinner, not to a club or something like that. My roommate Teresa actually wears a lot of this sort of black makeup. And it looks really good on her. I don't know why, I just don't think it often looks too good on me. But I just really love this look and I couldn't pass up the chance of just trying it. And I'm just lightly blending everything in. I have to extend this one out a little bit more. So I just keep dipping into that black tide and I'm going to extend. And I'm going to look up as I just keep my eyes open so I can see where to extend the color to. I just sort of wiggle on it so that I get the diffused look. Don't worry too much about it looking messy because you can always go back to it and fix it up. I'm going to grab a shading, an accent brush by Real Techniques, and I'm going to start building up underneath the eye because she had it all around the eye. Maybe you guys can see. I'm just rubbing this into my lower lash line. So I'm dipping into black pad, which is the darker of the two. And I'm going to sort of run that into the upper lash line and into that winged effect. Now it didn't look like it had much of a sort of set design. It looked more like an all-around ring, the same way that the Olsen twins sort of wear their makeup. Very much so like this, where it looks ringed. Okay, grabbing a 224, just grabbing a whole bunch of different blending brushes so that it's not so harsh. And you can blend underneath the eyes a little bit, which you obviously want to do. And I'm grabbing a color like Buck. This looks like this color right here, so that it's more of a blending option, and I'll warm up the upper lash line a little bit. And it's a transition color so that it doesn't look 100% stark as it goes from black to your skin color. And it helps everything blend a lot easier. And I'm grabbing my foundation brush just to wipe away some of that. And you can also use it to shape your eyes just a little bit. This one still needs to be taken out quite a bit. So I'm going to keep going into that black tide until this one is 100% even. Don't worry too much about it. You can definitely just keep winging that out. Now we're starting to get a little bit more towards what I want. Just do this very smoky eye. And what I'm going to do is go with some gel liner really quickly. Oops, this is not. This is by MAC Black Track Fluid Line. And I'm using a Senior Kashuk bent eyeliner brush just to get in that. I'm not doing a fairly thick line because we already have the black eyeshadow, so you don't have to go too crazy with it. And it's very hard to see it anyways, but it's a little bit easier to see in person than it is on camera because it's obviously black on black. Okay. I'm just doing a little bit darker on this side. I'm going to be done quite sloppily because this isn't so much a polished look as it is a sort of grungy, messy look. So that's what that part is looking like. This side is a little bit more rounded, so I'm going to make the other one a little bit more rounded right here. A little bit fatter rather than so they're a little bit more even. I hope you guys can see that. And then blending that out just a bit. Okay. So you can see that. Now I'm just gonna curl my lashes and do some mascara. And I'm also gonna line my lower lash line really quickly with some Makeup Forever Aqua liner. Sorry. And don't be afraid to really go crazy with the liner. Like I said, it is a really grungy sort of look. And I'm just doing some mascara. If you want to amp this up, you can wear some false lashes. This would be really cool for, well, I guess a night out. I mean, it isn't really, and I'm using a bit of Prestige, my blackest lashes over that. And on the bottom, because this is about to cut out, so I don't really want to not be in the frame. So that's what it looks like. It's a finished look. This was more about the eyes than it was about the skin. And it's really grungy. This is just my interpretation of the look because I couldn't